the #1 thing about guys. I do a lot of work in my professional life dealing with fatherhood and men, and we always think we can solve everything. We can solve our professional career, our marriage, our wives, our kids. We can't, and it's okay. We're human beings. And so every issue we're talking about today, including stress for sure, to me, when you're talking, Greg, about your predisposition, awesome. My sense is you're aware of it now, but you don't have to solve it yourself.
Correct.
Get support systems, help professionals, or whatever it is.
Right.
Guys do not have to solve. We can't solve everything ourselves, and if we keep thinking as a gender that we can, we're going to continue to fail.
I don't know how guys who are working handle all of this. I mean, I have been in retirement since before diagnosis, and so I don't have the pressure and stress of a job. I don't have the time commitment. I have just about my full schedule I can use to do whatever I want to push back at this. And that's a luxury for somebody. I've been stunned listening to you guys at the youthfulness at which you were diagnosed. You know, this is usually thought of a disease for men who are in their 60s or older. And I've heard ages in this room of 40s, 50s, very early in life, lots of years and family ahead of you. And I think that's a part of this journey I don't know. I was 63 when I was diagnosed, and full-time to deal with this, to learn about it, to recover, everything. And I just don't know how you guys do it when you're trying to do all of that.
And I can hear you, but I'll tell you something. For me personally, my work, which was a big job, a lot of hours, actually helped me. It was a diversion. It was a challenge, and it got my mind off of a lot of things. And I'll tell you, looking back, I'd consider it a positive in that respect.
Good.
But I can hear what you're saying.
I'm in agreement with him because the work does kind of gets it off my mind. I can think about something else, and I can just kind of keep living, because I said if I stop working, you know, you're just going to kind of focus in totally on yourself all the time.
And work is good. I've always liked my career. And of course, what was a career as a passion became an avocation. But at the same time, my wife would look at me and she'd say, how do you go to work? You can't leave cancer. You go to work, you go to cancer. You come home, it follows you, and you live cancer.
But what you did, I think you're getting the support from other people, and then vice versa, and we get the support from you. It kind of works both ways. It's not that you're just, you know, speaking on cancer and prostate cancer specifically. You hearing our stories and everyone else's stories, and I think that makes you even stronger. And I think that's what, you know, the way you're going about it.
One of the things that we've been talking about this is what's it like to live with the overhang, which has a, you know, to be blunt, a fairly negative connotation. I want to ask a question the other way around. Has anyone in this room found a diagnosis of cancer and living with it to be a freeing experience?
My military background is Air Force, not as a flyer, but in aircraft a lot. I was in meteorology, spent a lot of time in the air. When I came back, the job that I had caused me to do a lot of travel. I've been very fortunate to travel to many places in the United States on business, a lot of flying for years. One morning I woke up and I just decided I'm not flying again. I don't know what cracked in my head, but I think looking back it might have been a control issue, but that's not important. I stopped flying. When I was told you have cancer, it flipped my life. What'd you say? Flip the script? Flip the script, Russ. It flipped the script for me. It turned me around. All of a sudden, what was important to me was my life, my wife, my family, not the freaking airplane. Do you know, after I was diagnosed, 2 months later, I flew down here to Virginia Beach to my niece's wedding. She's a Top Gun pilot, very proud of her. But I flew down for her wedding. I flew down to see my mom in Florida. I flew out to Arizona to see my grandkids. I flew down here for this. I've had about 5 or 6 flights in the last 18 months since I was diagnosed. And all of a sudden, priorities for me have changed. So what was that comment you said you want to smack somebody? Oh, so you got the good kind of cancer? The good outcome for me in this bad diagnosis was I started recognizing things that you think are important aren't.
Right.
my priorities have changed so much so.
It's the old cliche, on their deathbed, nobody ever talks about wishing they were back in the office. And because this has been my personal experience, is that a diagnosis of cancer has opened up an entire new world to me that I did not know existed. And that consists of the guys in this room, of all these other organizations we've talked about. And it's given me a sense of purpose that in my years as, marketing high technology, I always felt like, well, that's good. I'm glad I'm earning a good living. But it was never kind of a sense that I was making a difference. And that's why I'm asking the question. And
it's a good one. I feel I'm a better person for it.
Yeah.
And I got some response on the blog a couple of weeks ago by saying, I will never say having cancer has any benefits or is a good thing.
No, you won't say that. But
there are pluses. Right. I'm much more relaxed.
Right.
It's like, oh, gee, the floorboard warped. Oh, well, nobody's got cancer.
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah, so we live with the warped floorboard.
Right.
It doesn't bother me anymore.
That's exactly, that's the exact experience that I had. Things just no longer bothered me. It was, when I'm faced with something, it's, okay, well, maybe I can fix it, maybe not. And I'll get to it.
Why don't you guys call my wife and tell her I really don't have to fix that doorstop? She's been bugging me. I don't care about
I've got 20 projects.
Right, yes.
It's like, lots of houses have some chip paint, okay?
That's right. So that's like, but you've sort of betrayed yourself a little, Greg, because you really have reduced some stress there.
That's right. You just,
I don't disagree that there have been changes that have been very positive out of this negative part of my life, but I still do have issues that I know I have a hard time trying to work at, and I think it's just our wiring.
Everybody who doesn't have issues, raise your hand.
Going back to someone telling you that you don't have any place to escape the cancer because you work with it every day. At times I think that that's more therapeutic because you have other people that you can talk to that are in the same boat. You're not talking to some doctor that, he's book smart on it, but he has no experience really with it. I found out that you can do what Facebook calls a secret group. And since then, I basically have buried myself in that, and just talking helped with the depression, helped with knowledge, and I end up feeling better when I'm able to try and help somebody with some of the other medications, like for the ED. I mean, just being able to know somebody's happy because something's working because of me explaining how to use one of the medications and stuff, and that's what's kept me sane.
The reward, the feeling of reward for me personally, maybe for others here, of making a difference in someone else's life and making their journey easier, it can't be put into monetary figure. And I started working in the nonprofit area in '96, coming out of real estate and banking. And I've gone through a number of iterations in nonprofit, but since I got diagnosed with prostate cancer, they've all been health related. And I was that sick in my second year of Lupron that I went on disability because I just wasn't able to function well enough to be able to work for more than about 3 or 4 hours a day, between the fatigue, the brain issues, and everything else. And what I feel is that has been a tremendous gift in allowing me to, help so many other folks. That's the best reward for me.
What you're talking about is finding purpose in your situation.
Yes.
And you've done that, Rusty. You do that in the fire department. You do that with the Pony Express.
Pony Express, yeah.
But I remember one night I gave a presentation to an Elks Club in Long Beach. And, I had several men and women saying, okay, I'm going to schedule my exam and stuff. And I drove out of the parking lot and I said, oh, thank God for my cancer. And that made me feel really uncomfortable. I'm going, that's kind of creepy. And, you know, so it took me 2 blocks to work it out. And I was like, no, thank God for my voice, which is giving purpose to this, which is helping others. And that's turning it around and doing something positive with it, which helps.
I mean, clearly, cancer's not a gift, but for me, the journey that I've been given through cancer has brought me many gifts and many friendships or connections with people I've never had in my life. And let's be honest, it makes us look at our own mortality. It makes us realize we have, as you and I were talking, we have a very finite time on this planet. And for many of us, I think it's the moment of trying to reconcile, what am I here for?